Have you ever wondered why so many elderly people suddenly face health issues, even when they live a seemingly healthy and regular lifestyle? What if some of the habits you think are harmless could be putting your health at risk, especially as you age? In today's video, we're going to uncover a shocking truth that could change the way you approach your daily routine. We'll be revealing critical advice from doctors that every elderly person needs to hear, especially when it comes to what you eat before bed. Did you know that the wrong foods at night can increase your risk of heart attacks, strokes, and other serious health problems? You won't believe how simple changes can help protect you from these dangers. Stay tuned, as we also dive into the most common health warnings your body gives before it's too late. Many elderly people ignore these signs, leading to devastating consequences. And finally, we'll explore essential habits that can help ensure a healthier, happier future in your later years. Don't miss out on this important information. It could be the key to living a longer, healthier life. Let's get started. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. After a thorough consultation with his doctor, the cause of the old man's untimely passing was finally revealed through an in-depth case analysis. It was clear that this elderly man had always been conscientious about his health, paying careful attention to his diet and exercise, trying to maintain his vitality even in his later years. Yet, despite his diligent efforts to stay healthy, he unknowingly fell victim to a subtle yet dangerous oversight. The root of his downfall lay in one seemingly harmless habit: snacking before bed. Particularly after his retirement, when the pressures of daily life eased, he found himself craving food late into the night. In his mind, it was just a small indulgence, a comforting routine to quell his hunger. Little did he realize that this nightly ritual was quietly undermining his well-being, causing irreversible damage to his health. What was the true danger behind this innocent-seeming habit? The answer lies in the types of food consumed late at night. For many people, especially those who are older, eating before bed is a deeply ingrained habit. However, most don't give much thought to the nature of what they're consuming, nor do they understand the lasting harm these foods can inflict. These seemingly innocent snacks, consumed without a second thought, can be deadly, especially when the body is at its most vulnerable during sleep. Doctors strongly advise that certain types of foods be avoided in the hours leading up to bedtime, as they can lead to severe health issues, particularly for the elderly. These choices, while comforting at the moment, may slowly erode their health without them even realizing it. 1. High-fat foods. Indulging in greasy, fried foods and fatty meats places an immense and often unseen burden on the heart, creating a silent storm within the body. These rich, calorie-dense foods don't just add to our waistlines, they transform into dangerous forces that slow the flow of life-giving blood. The excessive fats we consume build up, tipping the scales of our body's delicate balance, and contributing to an alarming rise in body fat content. This increase thickens the blood, causing it to move sluggishly through the veins, as though it is weighed down by the very burden we've chosen to feed it. When blood flow becomes sluggish, the risk of thrombosis, the formation of dangerous blood clots, soars, opening the door to life-threatening conditions like heart attacks. The danger is even greater when we consume these foods late at night when the body is in its most vulnerable state. As we sleep, our organs enter a restful phase, and the metabolic engine that powers our body slows to a whisper. At this time, the digestive process itself demands an extraordinary amount of energy that could otherwise be used to repair and restore our body. Instead, the heart is forced into overdrive, struggling to pump blood more forcefully, bearing the weight of the digestive load. It's a relentless cycle of stress that gradually wears down our heart's resilience, compounding the risk of long-term damage. The moment we choose indulgence over caution, we set into motion a series of events that put our most vital organ at risk, casting a long shadow over our health. 2. High salt and high sugar foods. Doctors strongly warn that consuming foods rich in salt and sugar can have devastating effects on the cardiovascular system, silently wreaking havoc on your heart's well-being. These seemingly innocent indulgences, such as sugary cakes and decadent desserts, are particularly dangerous when consumed before bed. Not only do they cause an overwhelming surge in blood sugar levels, but they also impose unnecessary stress on the heart, forcing it to work harder than it should while you rest. This dangerous pattern can quickly spiral into long-term damage. The impact of high-salt foods is equally alarming. Foods laden with excessive sodium, like crispy fried chicken or mouth-watering grilled skewers, are silent predators, stealthily raising your blood pressure and undermining the very walls of your blood vessels. This relentless assault on your body causes irreversible harm, making the arteries less flexible and more prone to damage. Over time, this leads to vascular stiffness, a condition that can accelerate the onset of dangerous cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases. It's essential to remember that the daily recommended intake of sodium should not exceed 2,000 milligrams. Yet, many unknowingly exceed this limit, putting themselves at risk for life-threatening conditions. The consequences of overindulgence are severe, and they can quickly escalate, leaving you vulnerable to heart attacks, strokes, and even premature death. It's a sobering reality that highlights the urgent need for us to make more mindful choices when it comes to what we put into our bodies. 3. Spicy foods. Spicy foods, such as the intense heat of chili peppers and the numbing tingling sensation of Sichuan peppercorns, have long been cherished for their ability to awaken the senses, ignite the taste buds, and stir the soul. The mere thought of them can evoke a visceral reaction, as their fiery warmth promises to not only tantalize the palate but to stir a deep craving for more. These foods have the power to unleash a cascade of sensations, setting off a wave of heightened awareness as they awaken a dormant appetite, urging you to savor the next bite. But beneath their tantalizing allure lies a more perilous reality. The scorching heat from these spices doesn't just engage the taste buds, it ruthlessly stimulates the gastric mucosa, causing discomfort that can ripple through the digestive system, unsettling the quiet peace that the body once enjoyed. As the spices begin to work their magic, they don't just burn. They trigger a powerful cascade of responses in the body. The temperature soars, blood flows more rapidly, and blood pressure surges, as though the body itself is being compelled to race, pushing itself beyond its limits. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. For the elderly, however, these physiological reactions can be dangerous, even life-threatening. As we age, our bodies begin to wear down, and our systems grow more delicate with each passing year. The once vibrant cardiovascular system becomes less resilient, its strength diminished by the toll of time and the wear and tear of countless years of living. The heart, which in youth would have been able to respond robustly to such stimulation, becomes more fragile and vulnerable in later years. The elderly, especially those already battling pre-existing cardiovascular conditions, find themselves walking a precarious tightrope. A seemingly simple indulgence, one that might have been a delightful treat in their younger days, becomes a cruel gamble. The spicy food, with its fiery assault, becomes a reckless invitation to danger, and what was once a fleeting joy could swiftly turn into a looming threat. The rapid increase in heart rate and blood pressure can trigger a chain of events, setting the stage for heart attacks, strokes, or worse. For those who have lived long and rich lives, this small, seemingly harmless act of eating a spicy meal might, in truth, place them at a perilous crossroads. The risk of such a sudden, life-altering event, one that could steal away years of memories, robbing them of the time they've worked so hard to cherish, becomes painfully real. It's a harsh reminder that even the simplest pleasures must be approached with caution, as the body, now older and more fragile, can no longer endure the same indulgences that once brought delight. In this delicate stage of life, everything becomes a balancing act, and spicy foods may very well prove to be a dangerously unpredictable element in the equation. The heartbreaking case of the 68-year-old man serves as a stark and painful reminder of the fragile nature of health in our later years. According to his family, this man had developed a routine of snacking late at night, with his favorite indulgence being fried, greasy foods that tantalized his taste buds. What seemed like harmless, comforting behavior slowly took a dangerous toll on his body. Over time, this habit led to a cascade of health issues, culminating in his sudden and tragic death. This devastating incident is a call to action for all of us, especially the elderly, to be deeply mindful of our dietary choices. What we consume, particularly in the quiet, vulnerable hours before sleep, can have far-reaching consequences for our health. So, what should elderly individuals pay special attention to in their diet? A comprehensive survey of 50,000 seniors reveals alarming findings. Those who routinely snack at night, particularly on high-fat foods, face a staggering 30% higher risk of developing life-threatening cardiovascular and cerebrovascular diseases compared to those who abstain from late-night eating. This is not just a statistic, it's a chilling wake-up call for all of us. As we grow older, the changes to our bodies are not merely skin-deep. Our organs, our immune systems, and our energy levels all begin to decline. The way we nourish ourselves becomes even more crucial, as the smallest misstep in our eating habits can set off a dangerous chain reaction. When we pass the age of 60, the strength of our immune system diminishes, and we are no longer able to bounce back as easily from minor ailments. The importance of proper nutrition cannot be overstated. As the age-old saying goes, you are what you eat, and as we age, it becomes more apparent than ever that our health is intricately tied to the foods we choose. Each meal, each bite, holds the power to either heal or harm our bodies. The risk of developing chronic diseases grows exponentially when we neglect our dietary habits. We must not take for granted the strength that a balanced, mindful diet can bring to our lives. For elderly individuals, maintaining a healthy lifestyle must begin with paying close attention to their food choices. Their bodies are no longer as resilient as they once were, and so the need for conscious, deliberate nourishment is greater than ever. It's essential to approach food with the respect it deserves, embracing the foods that will nourish and protect while avoiding those that may quietly, but surely, lead us down a dangerous path. Here are a few foods that seniors should consume with the utmost caution, or better yet, avoid altogether. 1. Animal organs. In Chinese culture, animal organs are much more than just food. They are cherished, revered, and deeply woven into the fabric of traditional nourishment, especially among the elderly. These organ meats, like pig liver and chicken hearts, are considered sacred treasures, endowed with immense healing properties passed down through generations. For the elderly, who often seek ways to preserve their health, vitality, and sense of well-being in the later years of life, these organs represent a connection to the wisdom of the past and the promise of a long, robust future. They are not merely seen as sustenance, but as vital life forces that nourish both body and soul. Pig liver, for instance, is regarded as an almost miraculous food. In Chinese medicine, it is believed to be deeply beneficial for vision, and capable of protecting and even restoring eyesight. The richness of pig liver, packed with essential vitamins, minerals, and proteins, is said to replenish blood and revitalize a person's strength. This makes it especially valuable for those suffering from night blindness, as its nutrients work to improve vision, allowing them to see more clearly, not only in the literal sense but also in a deeper, more spiritual way, offering them the gift of clarity in the twilight years of life. Such foods evoke a sense of comfort, their warm flavors offering more than nourishment. They bring a sense of emotional solace, bridging the gap between traditions and the modern demands of health. Likewise, chicken hearts are another cherished organ delicacy, often regarded as a symbol of vitality and strength. The tiny, tender hearts are said to be rich in nutrients that support the heart and circulatory system, offering a steady beat to those whose lives have weathered the storms of aging. These organs are lovingly prepared, often slow-cooked to tender perfection, allowing the nutrients to meld into the broth, creating a dish that feels like a warm embrace from the past. It's a reminder of the care and affection shared through generations, as older people pass down these recipes not just to sustain life but to offer a deep emotional connection to their heritage. However, with all their nourishing power, these organs are not without their shadows. For elderly individuals, there is an important balance to maintain. While they offer a wealth of health benefits, they are also laden with cholesterol and purines, substances that, when consumed excessively, can be detrimental to the body. The high cholesterol content can strain the heart and circulatory system, while the purines can lead to the painful buildup of uric acid in the joints, causing gout, a condition that can be particularly debilitating in old age. The very food that can nourish the elderly can also bring about discomfort, swelling, and pain if overindulged. For this reason, while animal organs are valued for their ability to enrich the body, they must be consumed with caution and moderation. The elderly must recognize that with age comes vulnerability, and their bodies may not be able to process these rich, nutrient-dense foods in the same way they once did. The risks of gout, heart disease, and other ailments become more pronounced as the years advance, so it is essential to savor these delicacies as a treat, an occasional indulgence rather than a daily staple. Thus, the consumption of animal organs requires a deep awareness of both their power and their limitations. While they can be incredibly nourishing, offering warmth, comfort, and even healing, they must be approached with respect and mindfulness. It is a delicate dance between enjoying the nourishment they provide and understanding the risks they pose. When enjoyed in moderation, these organ meats can be a meaningful part of an elderly person's diet, offering both the sustenance they need and the connection to the traditions that continue to nourish their spirits. But it is a balance that must be struck carefully, with wisdom, self-awareness, and an understanding of one's own body, honoring both the gift of health and the need for caution in the later years of life. 2. Fried foods. Fried foods, those irresistibly crispy, golden treasures, have a special place in many hearts. Their allure is undeniable, from the intoxicating scent that wafts through the air to the satisfying crunch of a perfectly fried piece of meat or dough. For many elderly individuals, these foods are far more than just a source of nourishment. They represent comfort, a taste of simpler times, and a deep connection to cherished memories. The crackling sound of a fried ball, the warmth of a fried dough stick fresh from the oil, or the savory richness of crispy, fried meat have become part of the fabric of their lives. For some, these indulgent treats symbolize family gatherings, celebrations, or moments of personal enjoyment that bring a sense of comfort and satisfaction in a world that may have changed over time. But lurking beneath this tempting golden crust lies an inconvenient truth, one that often goes unnoticed until the consequences become too apparent to ignore. While fried foods may deliver instant gratification, they are insidious in their long-term effects on health, especially for older adults whose bodies no longer metabolize food the same way they did in their youth. For those in the later years of life, these once-beloved treats can become silent saboteurs, quietly wreaking havoc on their well-being. The high-fat content found in fried foods can slowly but surely lead to weight gain, and obesity, a condition that already poses significant risks to overall health, becomes a pressing concern. The dangers go far beyond just the physical appearance. The effects on the heart and circulatory system are particularly worrisome. Fried foods can take a heavy toll on an elderly person's lipid profile, gradually raising cholesterol levels to dangerous heights. Over time, this can lead to the narrowing and hardening of blood vessels, making the heart work harder, and increasing the likelihood of heart disease and stroke. This process is not always immediately noticeable. It is a slow, creeping deterioration of the body's vital systems, and for many elderly individuals, it is a silent threat they may not even recognize until it is too late. What starts as a simple pleasure, the crispy bite of fried meat or the comforting crunch of fried dough, can, over the years, spiral into health issues that drastically affect quality of life. As we age, our bodies naturally require more careful attention and care, and we must choose our food with greater mindfulness. The high-fat foods that once seemed like simple indulgences become a source of immense strain, particularly for older adults whose health is already more vulnerable. The metabolic changes that come with aging mean that our bodies are not as efficient at processing fat, and what was once a manageable occasional indulgence may now be more harmful than we ever imagined. High-fat foods, especially fried ones, contribute to a series of issues that can result in a gradual decline in energy, mobility, and overall vitality. More than just an indulgence, fried foods can serve as a reminder of the fleeting nature of time, of days when we were young and carefree, when we didn't have to worry about the long-term consequences of our choices. But as we move through the stages of life, it becomes crucial to adapt our habits to ensure that we continue to thrive. The body, while resilient, is not invincible, and it needs more than just comfort food to maintain its strength. In these later years, we must choose nourishment that will sustain us, not only for the present but for the future. So, while the crispy allure of fried foods will always beckon, it's important to remember that our health and longevity depend on the choices we make every day. To truly honor our bodies, we must start turning away from these indulgences and embrace alternatives that nourish us in a way that fosters vitality rather than erodes it. Fresh, wholesome ingredients, grilled, roasted, or steamed, offer the nourishment that aging bodies crave, providing us with the strength and energy to face each day with vigor and joy. The occasional indulgence, of course, is part of life, but it is the consistent choices we make that determine the quality of our health, and ultimately, the quality of our lives. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. For the sake of your heart, your energy, and your future, let's embrace a new path. A path that honors your body's wisdom, treats it with the respect it deserves, and ensures that your golden years are truly full of golden moments. Let go of the tempting but fleeting satisfaction of fried foods, and instead, savor the lasting nourishment that will keep you thriving for years to come. 3. Preserved and processed meats. In the days of yore, when survival was an arduous daily battle and resources were scarce, people were forced to get creative with how they preserved their food. The luxury of refrigeration and modern preservation methods were unimaginable, and so, the people of that time had to rely on age-old techniques to ensure their food would last through the cold, harsh winters or long, blistering summers. Fresh vegetables, which would otherwise spoil quickly, were pickled and salted, transforming them into tangy, flavorful treasures that provided a taste of summer in the dead of winter. These preserved vegetables became the backbone of many diets, often seen as a symbol of resilience, resourcefulness, and a testament to human ingenuity in the face of adversity. These pickled vegetables, brimming with their uniquely sharp and bold flavors, gained a beloved place in the hearts of many. The distinct taste of the brine was more than just a form of preservation. It became comfort food, wrapped in the warm memories of family dinners, the bustle of a home, and the joy of finding a way to make what little you had last longer. However, as people aged and the relentless march of time took its toll, their bodies began to change, and so too did their preferences. Once vibrant and full of life, appetites began to shrink, and the salt-laden flavors of pickled foods became more appealing than ever, offering a simple, familiar pleasure in an increasingly complicated world. Yet, these very foods, which were once seen as a symbol of self-sufficiency and resilience, hold a far darker truth in the aging years. The high sodium content in these pickled vegetables, meant to preserve and enhance their flavor, now becomes a silent adversary to the health of older individuals. As the years add up, the body's ability to handle excess salt diminishes, and what once seemed like a harmless indulgence becomes a hidden threat. Salt, in excessive quantities, begins to weigh down the kidneys and liver, forcing these vital organs to work harder than they should, often leading to a slow, insidious buildup of high blood pressure. What was once a simple pleasure now brings with it a silent, invisible burden, a weight that grows heavier with every bite. For the elderly, the risk is compounded by the body's declining resilience and its diminished ability to recover from the wear and tear of a lifetime. The cravings for salty, pickled foods are not just about flavor anymore. They are driven by the body's attempt to find comfort in a world that has become more difficult to navigate, both physically and emotionally. Yet, in their search for this fleeting solace, the very foods that offer comfort can lead to devastating consequences. High blood pressure, heart disease, and strokes are just a few of the potential outcomes of consuming too much salt in the diet, and for older individuals, the dangers become far more acute. Similarly, preserved meats, such as sausages, bacon, and cured hams, which have long been staples in many diets, are far from harmless. These processed meats, while undeniably convenient and often irresistibly tempting, come with a hefty price. They are packed with an overwhelming amount of salt, fats, and preservatives that the body, already worn from years of wear and tear, simply cannot handle in the same way it once did. The rich, savory flavors of these meats, once a source of comfort and indulgence, now serve as a ticking time bomb for health, as their high sodium content slowly but surely raises blood pressure, damages arteries, and increases the risk of heart disease. The convenience of these processed meats becomes a dangerous illusion as the long-term effects take hold, manifesting in chronic health problems that threaten to overshadow the joys of old age. The harmful effects of these foods on aging bodies are not always immediately apparent. The dangers they present are subtle, creeping up over time, often going unnoticed until serious health complications arise. The body, more fragile and sensitive with age, simply cannot process these foods with the same efficiency it once could. What was once a source of pleasure and nourishment now becomes a health hazard, contributing to a growing list of ailments that could have been prevented. The body, which has already endured decades of life's challenges, is now tasked with handling the overwhelming burden of excessive salt and fat, two enemies that the body struggles to cope with as it ages. In these later years, the focus must shift to nurturing the body with foods that promote health and vitality, rather than burden it with substances that cause harm. The desire for comfort foods like pickled vegetables and processed meats is natural, but it's important to acknowledge the cost of these foods affects one's health as one ages. The craving for these salty, savory indulgences should not be ignored but rather met with awareness and care. While these foods may bring a fleeting sense of satisfaction, the long-term impact on health can be severe and irreversible. For older individuals, every decision about what to eat should be made with a deep understanding of the consequences, keeping in mind that true nourishment comes from foods that support and enhance the body's well-being, not those that deplete it. 4. Alcohol. As we grow older, the rhythms of life change, and so too do the habits that once brought us comfort. For many elderly individuals, alcohol may still carry the warmth of nostalgia or the promise of a quiet moment to unwind. Perhaps it's a glass of wine at dinner, a favorite cocktail shared with a loved one, or a small drink before bed to ease into sleep. These rituals, once simple pleasures, can offer a sense of relief or even connection to a past that feels so distant. Yet, as we age, the truth begins to unfold. Alcohol, no longer the innocent indulgence it once was, becomes a dangerous companion to our declining health. For decades, we may have enjoyed the physical resilience of youth, but the body we knew in our younger years is no longer the same. It has weathered the storm of time, and with each passing day, it weakens. Our metabolism slows, our organs lose their sharp efficiency, and the vitality we once took for granted starts to fade. What seemed harmless in our earlier years, perhaps a nightly drink to relax or mark the end of a busy day, now carries far more serious consequences. Alcohol, once an innocent pleasure, begins to take on the role of a silent aggressor, gradually unraveling the threads of our health. It's easy to overlook these dangers. After all, alcohol has a way of soothing our emotions, bringing temporary relief from the stress and frustrations of the world. But beneath the surface, its effects on an aging body are profound. The liver, our internal detoxifier, struggles to cope with even modest amounts of alcohol. What once was a healthy, efficient organ has become increasingly vulnerable, unable to break down alcohol as it did in our youth. This means that alcohol stays in the system longer, accumulating and causing harm. The toxins, once processed swiftly and effectively, now linger, putting strain on the body's other vital organs and systems. The mind, too, bears the weight of alcohol's impact. It's not just about the physical toll. Alcohol also affects cognitive function. What may have once been a pleasant way to wind down can now contribute to memory loss, confusion, and a clouding of thought that makes even the simplest tasks feel daunting. As the years pass, our mental clarity becomes more precious than ever. And yet, alcohol chips away at that clarity, replacing sharpness with a fog that clouds our judgment, our decisions, and our very sense of self. Beyond the immediate effects, alcohol can also pose long-term risks that threaten the quality of life we worked so hard to build. Falls, once a rare concern, become an ever-present danger as our coordination and balance deteriorate. What was once a small misstep may now lead to devastating consequences, from broken bones to life-altering injuries. The heart, too, becomes more vulnerable with age. Alcohol consumption can increase the risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, and arrhythmias, conditions that may already be exacerbated by other age-related issues. What makes alcohol even more insidious is that its effects can be cumulative, gradually sneaking up on us in ways that are hard to notice until it's too late. It's easy to brush off that extra glass of wine as a harmless indulgence, but the consequences are often felt in the long run. Aging is a time of reflection, growth, and finding new ways to care for ourselves. Amid all these changes, we must recognize that alcohol no longer serves us in the same way. It's time to take a step back and assess how we want to spend our remaining years, not merely in survival but in thriving. Moderation, once just a suggestion, now becomes an essential practice. For those who have relied on alcohol as a crutch, the road ahead may seem daunting. Letting go of this familiar companion can feel like losing a piece of ourselves, but it's important to remember that the greatest gift we can give to our aging bodies and minds is self-care. Choosing to reduce or eliminate alcohol from our lives opens up a world of possibilities for better health, deeper clarity, and longer-lasting vitality. Embracing a life free from alcohol's grip doesn't just mean living longer, it means living better. The freedom that comes from releasing unhealthy habits is empowering. It allows us to reclaim the joy of our years, to experience them with the clarity, energy, and purpose we deserve. It's about cultivating a lifestyle that nourishes not just the body, but the spirit, embracing the wisdom that comes with age, and making choices that honor our precious, fleeting time. The years ahead are a treasure, a time to be cherished, not just for the moments we've lived but for the potential of what's to come. Let alcohol fade into the past, and let the future be filled with health, strength, and a renewed sense of vitality. In this new chapter, every choice matters. Choose to honor your body and mind with the care they deserve, and let your golden years be as vibrant and fulfilling as you've always dreamed. 5. Cold foods. As we grow older, our bodies become more sensitive and delicate, requiring us to be more mindful of what we consume, especially before we close our eyes to sleep. One of the things that should be avoided, particularly by elderly individuals, is cold foods, with cold milk being one of the most concerning. While milk is often seen as a healthy source of protein and essential fats, it's crucial to remember that our digestive systems slow down and become more vulnerable with age. For those in their golden years, the once soothing glass of milk can quickly become a source of discomfort, especially when consumed right before bed. Cold milk, with its low temperature, can wreak havoc on an already sensitive digestive system. When ingested, it can irritate the stomach and intestines, triggering bloating, cramps, or worse. The shock of cold beverages hitting the body can lead to a sudden contraction of blood vessels, which increases the risk of strokes, a frightening and life-threatening consequence. The digestive and circulatory systems are already working hard to keep us healthy in our later years, so it's essential not to add unnecessary strain. Doctors strongly advise the elderly to steer clear of cold, high-fat, and sugary drinks late in the evening. These drinks can interfere with the body's ability to relax and recover during the night, disrupting sleep and increasing the risk of serious health issues. So, before reaching for that chilled glass of milk, consider the long-term impact on your well-being. It's a simple yet vital choice, one that helps protect the body from harm and promotes a better, healthier sleep. In the quiet of the night, your body deserves only warmth, comfort, and the peaceful rest that supports a long and fulfilling life. As we grow older, our bodies often communicate with us in subtle ways, offering quiet warnings before illness strikes. Yet, these signals are frequently ignored or dismissed, and by doing so, we risk facing greater health consequences that could have been prevented. It's crucial, especially in our later years, to pay careful attention to these subtle cues, particularly in the quiet moments before bed. Imagine this. You're settling down for the night, the world around you winding down, but suddenly, you feel an unexpected chill or fever sweeping over you. It may seem like just a passing discomfort, but this could be your body's desperate cry for help, a sign of infection or inflammation. Never take these sudden temperature shifts lightly. They could be the first whispers of something far more serious brewing within, a warning your body is giving you to act quickly before things escalate. Keep a vigilant eye on your temperature and don't hesitate to seek medical attention if the symptoms persist. Now picture the sensation of tightness in your chest, or the shortness of breath that lingers as you try to drift off. What you might brush off as minor discomfort could, in reality, be the beginnings of a heart or lung issue, silent and insidious. Do not let the night lull you into complacency. These are signals your body is sending you that should never be ignored, no matter how fleeting they seem. The longer you delay, the more dangerous the consequences could be. Another sign to never dismiss is the rapid beating of your heart or an irregular rhythm, thumping in your chest as you try to fall asleep. This is not just a nuisance, it is a potential indicator of heart problems. Don't wait for the morning to see if it gets better. Call emergency services immediately. What might feel like a passing episode could quickly transform into something life-threatening if left unchecked. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Sudden dizziness or vertigo before bed is another critical warning sign. When the room spins and your balance feels off, it's easy to assume that it's just a fleeting moment of disorientation. But this could be your body's way of signaling high blood pressure, or worse, cardiovascular disease. Don't ignore the dizziness, even if it seems to subside quickly. It could be the key to understanding a larger underlying issue that demands your attention. Finally, imagine the sudden onset of abdominal discomfort as you're about to settle down for the night. It's tempting to attribute it to a bad meal or an upset stomach. But don't be so quick to dismiss it. Abdominal pain, especially when it's unexpected and unexplainable, can be a sign of a deeper, more serious issue that requires immediate attention. Listen closely to your body's signals, for they might be trying to alert you to something that could spiral into a far more significant health problem if left unchecked. As we age, our bodies may not always scream out for attention, but they will always speak in their way. It is up to us to listen with care, respond with urgency, and honor the wisdom that comes from our awareness. Never underestimate the power of a small warning. By paying attention to these signs, we empower ourselves to live with greater strength, health, and longevity. As we age, the key to a fulfilling and vibrant later life lies in prioritizing our health and well-being. For elderly individuals to experience stability and happiness in their golden years, there are several essential elements to consider. Regular health checkups are the foundation of preventive care. By scheduling routine medical appointments, older adults can catch potential health issues early, allowing for timely treatment and significantly reducing the risk of severe complications. These proactive steps provide peace of mind, knowing that one's health is being closely monitored and that any lurking ailments can be addressed before they evolve into crises. Maintaining healthy lifestyle habits is equally vital. A well-balanced diet, rich in essential nutrients, fuels the body, keeping it strong and resilient. Engaging in moderate exercise, whether it's a brisk walk around the neighborhood or light stretching exercises, helps preserve muscle strength, flexibility, and balance, all of which are essential for independence and mobility. Adequate sleep cannot be underestimated either, as it allows the body and mind to repair and rejuvenate, supporting both physical and mental health. These habits, when practiced consistently, help preserve vitality and grace throughout the aging process. It's also incredibly valuable to learn basic first aid. In moments of crisis, being equipped with even simple first aid skills can make all the difference, potentially saving lives and giving individuals precious time until medical professionals can step in. Knowing what to do in an emergency, like performing CPR or stopping a bleeding wound, empowers the elderly to feel more confident and in control of their well-being. Finally, mental health should never be overlooked. The emotional well-being of elderly individuals is just as important as their physical health. Maintaining a positive outlook on life, even as challenges arise, is key to aging gracefully. Staying connected with loved ones, engaging in meaningful conversations, and participating in social activities bring a sense of joy, purpose, and belonging. These interactions foster optimism, helping seniors navigate the later stages of life with grace and happiness. By embracing these habits, health screenings, a balanced lifestyle, first aid knowledge, and mental well-being, elderly individuals can cultivate a life of peace, joy, and longevity, surrounded by good health and love. As we wrap up, I hope you've gained valuable insights on how to embrace a healthy and vibrant aging journey. From regular health checkups and maintaining a balanced lifestyle to the power of learning first aid and nurturing your mental well-being, these practices can truly make a difference in our lives as we grow older. So, what have you learned so far? What is one thing that resonated with you the most? And how do you plan to bring it into your life moving forward? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please share in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, and share it with those who might benefit from it. And of course, subscribe to our channel for more insightful content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living your healthiest, happiest life.